Hey beautiful people, welcome back to the Corper podcast. My name is Fikemi Adiraju and I'm your host back again. Thank you so much to everyone who subscribed from last episode, who listened from last episode. God bless you guys. And today we have another interesting NYC experience with a very, very special guest as per usual. We have the wonderful, the amazing Natalie. Hey! Can you briefly tell us about you and introduce yourself?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Nathaniela. Some call me Nat, some call me Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
I am a project manager. Yeah, so I've had a lot of career switches. So so I'm an introvert. I like food. I love life.
Yeah.
So I think that's just the basic thing. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to be having an interesting conversation about her NYC experience, and hers is actually a beautiful mix of Hausa and Yoruba, right?
Me?
Yeah.
My heritage?
No.
No, like your
yeah. So she camped in Sokoto State and did her PPA in Ibadan, and that's actually very interesting. Where are you from?
So I am actually a mix of Yoruba and Shekiri, which is from Niger Delta.
Really? Hi, Shekiri. So we're going to get into the conversation, but first of all, we'll start off from your camp experience.
Okay.
But most of the conversation will be about your PPA, right?
Okay.
So for camp, right, when you got your call-up letter,
Yeah.
what was your reaction?
So when we found, so can I just backtrack a little?
No problem.
So we were told that if we go early to do the registration, we'll get where we want. So I chose
Where you want?
where
Where you want to be posted. Yeah.
So
Sorry.
I chose Lagos, I chose Abuja, I chose Ogun State, and I think I chose Edo or Delta State. And there I was comfortable, certain that of course Lagos State is going to win.
Lagos is sure.
Of course. Do you know what time I went there? I was at the cyber cafe by like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m.
Are you serious?
Yes. And they told me this is first come first serve.
Wow.
And at that time they were actually slots, so you could see the slots disappearing.
Yeah.
That's how we now came. I saw so who? so why? I was in a state of shock. So I live with my mom, and at that time it was as if someone had died in the house. Everybody was just in mourning. Like nobody was saying anything.
What year was this?
This was 2016.
Oh, okay.
So I graduated in September of 2016. So this was November of 2016.
Yeah.
It was like someone died. we were in mourning. We didn't know what to do. So it was really bad.
But what was the morning feeling from? Is it because like Sokoto?
Yes.
Who do you know there?
As in like where?
Like
so when I'm even mentioning or thinking about states in Nigeria, no offense to my Sokoto babes, but it's not one of the things that's top of the mind. So I felt like I had been sent to.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
You were just like. Yeah. And that's how you're coming from.
So it was really bad.
So like when you finally decided to go, how was the transportation like? How did you go?
Okay, so for me at the time, cash strapped. So there was a bus. So what happened? What was really useful was on our classroom group chats, they just started. Everybody started linking up. Okay, who's going here? Who's going here? Who's going here? So even if I was going to fly, because I knew that there was a classmate of mine that was going to be taking the bus, so I was just like, okay, for safety reasons, I'll just
accompany.
Let me do road trip.
Yeah,
we were on the road for 22 hours.
You booba
and Kapu. Yeah, so we're on the road for 22 hours.
You did just 24 hours a day.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That you're meant to. Sorry. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that like? Did you have stops at all?
We had stops.
Yeah.
Restroom breaks. There were times that people would stop to get food and stuff like that. But it was really interesting because I do like road trips.
Yeah.
And I used to experience a bit of car nausea, car sickness rather. But I'm so lucky that it didn't kick in at the time.
Yeah.
But when we were on the road, we were able to explore and see like lots of states. So they would say, oh, this is Lokoja. And I don't know, the vibe was really nice.
So it was like a tour.
It was a tour, and it wasn't like we were on a random bus. It was like a specific NYSC bus.
Oh,
yeah. So all the core members were on
the bus. So everybody there was like
exactly. So we drop core members at this place, we drop core members at that place. So it was really nice from that angle. So getting to see like different other states. Yeah. So this is this place, this is that place. And to be honest, driving into Sokoto was really beautiful. You just see a lot of greenery. You see a lot of farming. Very meticulous. Like they measured the distance between each plant and each tree and everything. And it was really. I remember entering in and I was like, "This is beautiful."
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually
yeah.
until you entered in 10. But like during looking at Sokoto, right, did it change your perspective, like the perspective you had? Because you know most people when they're posted to that place, they're just like, where in the remote am I going to? So when you got there, did it change your perception of the states generally?
So to be honest, I had no perception for it to change.
Okay.
But I was quite shook by what I saw.
Yeah.
So all those greenery and everything was wonderful until we entered Sokoto town. The first thing that struck me was that dust. Everywhere dust. Their buildings that they painted white do resemble brown. So, you know, everything was really dusty and archaic.
But would you say it was like the season? You know, like Hamatan is usually.
So then again, it could have been the season. Yeah. But I got a sense that that's typically how it do look. Yeah. So it was a lot of dustiness. It was. Then again, it wasn't just the dustiness. It was the kind of the buildings and everything. It was giving you retro 60s, 70s Nigeria. Yes. So at least the places that I saw, even the banks look like how they first, like when they started banks, like they've not done any renovations and everything. So I think when I came there and just seeing that, I was just like, okay, wow, this is
interesting.
Yeah, it's like time traveling.
Yeah, so it's like you went back in time. Oh well. Yeah. So in like with most of the guests we've had that are serving in the north, they make statements about extreme weather. So like when it's very hot, it's very hot. When it's very cold, it's very cold. Do you experience that?
Okay, so because of when we got posted, we didn't experience. Well, yeah, there was a bit of heat actually. But what was really more striking was the cold, right? Imagine there's no heater. I don't know what I expected, but I'm used to having hot showers. Yeah, I'm talking about using ice to bath. You know, and then I remember what really struck me was how my skin, I was shedding like a chameleon or a lizard.
Really?
Like my feet were like...
Because of the cold,
so it was like stony, the skin was peeling. So at night it was very cold. And I remember I'm still going to get to this when we talk about the actual posting, but because I actually resumed at my PPA, and I remember then they told me that if I put water and pure water sachets in a calabash and cover it, it will be cold. And I kid you not, that was my refrigerator. I had a calabash in my room, and then we put pure water sachets there, and you just cover it for like 2 hours. By the time you get it, you're drinking cold water.
Wow,
that was, I think, one of the best things for me. So the cold was cold.
The cold was really cold.
But the heat, I didn't really experience a lot of the heat, to be honest, because I ran away from anything sun.
Yeah. That's interesting. So like in terms of the actual camp experience, so when you got in there, you know, you have to like do your registration and all of that. What would you say was like your favorite moment at camp and like the worst moment at camp?
Okay, so registration was quite easy for me, just knowing where to go and hitching my tent with somebody that was, you know, that knew what to do. Yeah. But for me, the best experience was escaping anything field. So marching and all of that. So, and this is where it gets funny. So I joined the what's it called? There's this it was like a peer educators club for HIV. So we learned a lot about HIV and stuff. So the duration of those classes, we were away from the march past and all the preps. So that was the best part for me, because actually, I'm sorry, I've forgotten his name, but he was a very delightful man, teacher. So it was really nice. But then here's the thing. So when we now finished the class, we finished maybe like a couple of days before camp was over. And also people were matching. I said, me too, I can match too. I said, I have to match.
You genuinely wanted to match?
I said, so this is what happened, Mister. I said, no.
Are you serious?
Honestly, in my mind, I never said it out. And then I was just standing by watching people match, and then they say, you look like somebody can match. I said, yes. And they just fixed me there. So that was another delightful thing. So that's how. And these things they have been learning for like 2 weeks. So I had like 2 or 3 days to learn. They were moving hard enough.
Yeah, it's actually so shocking because most people always try to like run away from matching. You went to with your chest.
Hello. Okay. What do they call him? The DJ, Abi? What's his name?
The camp. What's
the top? I'm much in front of you. I was in front.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's actually so interesting. So what would you say that was your worst moment at camp? Like the moment you're just like, I'm done with this place.
I had, was it constipation? I don't know if it was constipation or diarrhea, one or the other. But I think it was constipation. Yeah, because there was no bathroom.
Let's get into that.
I told myself I'm not gonna use the bathroom because what did exist there? I think, is it a bathroom or
pit latrine?
Yes. So I said, no. It's not gonna happen. So I think because of that, I now became constipated.
Yeah, because you didn't want to see.
And of course, there was no food.
I'm sorry.
There was nothing food. The food. I'm not saying that they didn't have food. They served us food, but the food was not fooding. It wasn't fooding like it used to. The tea was water. So I never really.
Wait, are you talking about camp food or like mommy food? In mommy, was there like food?
So that's where it is. So I didn't actually discover mommy markets on time. So I've been suffering in silence. So what happened was when we were going, Momsy packed snacks and stuff, Doritos. I went to camp with Doritos and all this stuff.
Are you serious?
So yes, kilishi. So so the thing is, when we went, I didn't know when I was coming back. I thought I'll come back the next year because Momsy said.
So you packed all your things.
I went with a big suitcase. So as I was leaving, she said, I don't know anybody in NYC. I don't know anything we posted. So when I see you is when I see you. I'm a sister. God bless you, Rachel. So I went with my clothes, clothes for work, shoes, everything. And so I had 2 months worth of snacks.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had a lot of snacks. So I was living on that until I discovered Mommy Markets.
Are you serious? When did you discover Mommy Markets?
I don't even know because I'm not really that much of. I am an explorer, but because of that environment,
you just want to stay on your own,
straight to this thing, come back and so on. So I just eventually, I don't know how. I think I made a new friend and he meet me in Mommy Market. I'm like, what's that? Sha brought me there and then introduced me to bread and akara. I never had bread and akara. I called it African burger.
Yeah.
So that was it. So I think I now started doing African burger. Then I met this man, delightful man who made suya, and there was a man beside him who made indomie. So I used to just give him money for a week, and so I'm giving you 1,000 naira. This is how many suyas I want, and then I'm giving you this. This is for my indomie. So that's what I now started doing.
Wow.
I still come back to the tea that was like maybe you wash dirty socks. That's how it was. It was giving dirty socks.
Oh my god! Wow, that's actually interesting. So in terms of hostels, how would you describe the hostels? Were they a little bit accommodating? Because you said there was no bathroom?
No, there was a bathroom, but the bathroom didn't exist now, obviously, because it was dirty. They never washed it. It was smelly all the time. I mean, obviously, we have a bath there. So the thing is, I think they used to clean them. Yeah. So the idea is to be up at, 4 a.m., try and get yourself a clean bathroom.
I used to wake up to just a shower.
Oh, yes, I don't even remember the time, but really, really early. Yeah. So you can get in, have a bath. But the actual, when I meant bathroom, I meant the actual toilets, not really the best. So that was for that. The room we were posted in was actually alright. I got a corner bunk. Okay. So that was nice. It was spacious. The people in the room were actually quite reasonable. Did they steal? They stole, but I don't think they ever stole from our room. They did, but God, don't touch me. So the hostels were alright.
Oh, that's good.
There was nothing fantabulous. It was just regular hostel. It's the bathrooms of the hostel that's
because bathrooms are always an issue. But to be honest, sometimes I can't even blame the cleaners because when I see how some people maintain, because I feel like they clean it, but when everybody comes back with mud and everything, it's just really, really a mess. But to sum up, to round up on your camp experience, we'll get to PPA. How was the manual drill? The manual drills you did, all of that, did you, or you ran?
No, I did them. And in my mind, I was James Bond. It's yes, no. But there were just 1 or 2 things that I couldn't do because of my height. I was concerned. But I did the whole walk on the rope thing.
The rope, yeah.
I did the crawling under stuff. I did a couple of stuff. It was nice.
I remember when I shared my experience, it was because I had been struggling with a bit of diarrhea, but it hadn't held my neck. So I was like, oh, I'm still good. So they came in and chased all of us out. You guys should listen to the bonus episode I did. So they chased all of us out and they're like, you have to go for your manual. And I was like, okay, fine. So I already told the lady there that my tummy is bubbling and I don't think I'll be able to. She said, just do it when you can. So I first of all walked on this stick thing where you have to balance. And it was time to crawl. You know when you go down, you can't do a lot of activities when you have diarrhea because your tummy will just move. So it was when I came out, I just froze and said, I'm actually finished. I'm actually finished. And so it felt like my tummy was going to explode. So I had to take permission and then the soldiers were now telling me, no, just walk. I know about I ran back to my room. I thank God, our bathroom, we had created a system where we had it always cleaned. So we got cleaners to like.
Sorry, this Lagos camp. Can't relate.
No, Oyo State camp.
Still can't relate.
5-star camp. What you?
Oh.
So it was like we already had the system, and I had like this mini drum that my friend left for me. So like I stored water there and everything. So I had water to use the bathroom. So I was like, thank you Jesus, because I don't know what I would have done. And it was a situation where my water was always under my bed because people's hands, you just come back and then you can't find your bucket. So that's the whole thing for another day. But yeah, so the last day, right, the passing out, that's when you get your posting letter and everything. When you got your posting letter, like how was the whole process like?
So let me also again backtrack if that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we heard that if you don't want to stay, you can write. So there's a period of time that was going on. Your girl wrote to whoever I was writing to. Dear did you or whatever. I really want to serve my country. This was my words. I really do want to serve my country. I'm really convinced that I can serve. I'm passionate about it. But the weather is killing me. I'm serious. So I'm falling sick. I'm doing this, I did this. So in my mind, in writing that, I felt that whoever would read it would have compassion and have sympathy and be like, okay, fine, no, this poor girl wants to serve, let's send her back home. So when I came out and saw that my posting was one place I can't even, I can't remember it. One place I couldn't pronounce. I started showing people, what's this? Lambatureta, I can never forget. Lambatureta, I was like,
in Sokoto.
In Sokoto. So I was like, where is it? So in my mind, I studied microbiology.
Yeah.
So everybody that heard that thought that I'll be posted to Sokoto town, maybe a hospital, maybe a lab, an office, local government. Tell me why they post me inside school.
I think that's the general posting. And I think that's really annoying, to be honest, because it's like you have engineers, you have microbiologists, you have, economists.
I think that's what they need, Sha.
Yeah, but the thing is that, for example, I might be someone who like enjoys teaching. So being in a school might not be an issue for me. Not that I'm saying you should put me in a school. But like being in a school might not be an issue for me, right? And then there's someone else who's really shy, can't communicate properly. They're more of like a desk person. You're even making it worse for the students because what exactly are you going to teach them?
And some people, even if they have the personality that's outgoing, some people just don't have the ability to pass across information.
Thank you. Like it's not everyone that knows how to teach or even can be dedicated enough because you're going to mark script, you have students to work with. The safety of the students go, what exactly are you even teaching them? Are you even making matters worse? You yourself are even smart enough.
Do you get sometimes I was teaching, I was like, I don't know when I was in secondary school, I don't know how I passed this thing.
Like so how am I not teaching someone else? I think that's one of the things that bothers me about, because if you see engineers, post them to engineering companies or engineering firms, you see accountants.
Let's be related.
Yeah,
let me have purpose.
Not every 5 years and then go and teach in a school.
What did you, if you were going to teach, what do you think they would have posted you to teach?
It was like the subjects, probably like physics, math, because I did computer engineering, right? But imagine if they told me to go and teach literature now, or government.
So basically it's on their need. So when I got there, it was like, oh, what can you teach? What will you teach? Will you teach this? So it wasn't even much of like a choice. So had it been, I had like literature, even though I don't care for literature, basically, as in like teaching it as a subject. They would be like, we'll go teach literature because they don't have a literature teacher. So, I mean, for me, when I was posted to that school, so I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know where I was posted, I didn't know what was going on. It was confusing. So when they finally told me, oh, you weren't in Sokoto town, because I was like, okay, they're not going to relocate me or whatever. They're going to post me to the
proper place or something.
So when I now found out that, okay, I'm not going home, they're going to post me to Sokoto town, and I found out they didn't post me to Sokoto town. They're posting me inside village. Then I now heard that it's the border of Zamfara. I don't understand. Wow. So people were just like, oh, it's far. There were buses that were going there. So obviously you automatically go to your PPA and you resume there. When I got there, I was the only one from camp that had returned. I think they posted like 4 or 5 of us there. Yeah. Only 2 of us actually went there. The rest of them didn't even bother to show up. And I think the last straw for me when I knew I had to get out, or no, I didn't have, because I didn't know how to get out. But when I knew that this is going to be interesting was when I met a full-grown man, and he was introduced to me, and he said he was a student, and he was in GS3. I said, you know what?
In the school?
Hello. I said,
are you serious?
bass voice.
Wow.
So this was how many years ago? So I was so tiny. I was so skinny.
Yeah.
Also, and then I found out the person that did resume with me was already working to go. The set that was there, they were going to pass out in January or February.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, me, alone.
Teaching everybody. So like in terms of like seeing someone that old, right, in school, personally I'll see from a place of, okay, maybe he just found a new passion to learn, or maybe this is his only opportunity to learn and stuff like that. That's like the first thing that comes to my mind. So I'm just like, okay, that's interesting, that's good, that's nice. But at the same time, only you,
female,
young
girl, who didn't know anything.
I'm sure you were like very scared and worried.
No, so if I knew that there would be other people there, funny enough, the school is really huge. That's another thing that concerned me. You know, federal government college. That's a really
that was
it's
school.
a federal government school. Yeah, so it was a huge school. So I'm like, oh, forbid something can happen to me. Too much of film. So you know, something could happen to me. I'll be missing for days. Nobody will be able to find me because you just see trees before the school. To the Corper's Lodge, just forest, tree, everything. So I was just like, this as a thought is not safe for me. Yeah, it's just not safe for me. So
wow. So like, how did you actually start teaching there?
So no, I never got to teach. So here's where the good thing was. I had a very close friend at the time.
Yeah.
And she was so thoughtful because she was working hers. I can't remember what she was posted to, but she was working hers. And I think she had an aunt or so who was, you know,
helping
there in Abuja. And the sweet lady just put my name in. And I didn't, because like I said, I didn't know anybody, so I was there for the long haul. But she submitted my name, and the next thing I got a text message that I have been posted to Ibadan. I should go and resume in Ibadan in the next 2-3 days. I was just like, God. The way I grabbed my things, I'm gonna say, because the principal of the school, he was like, oh, I'm so happy that people don't resume, so I felt bad. So I'm letting down this man, but I know, sir, my life is on the line.
Do you guys? But how's the accommodation? Like, they provide
yes.
What's the accommodation?
Accommodation.
They provide accommodation.
Yes,
for you?
yes. There was a Corper's Lodge.
Okay.
It had an actual bathroom. Funny enough.
Oh wow.
Yeah, with a bath like a toilet, which is great.
That's amazing.
Camp didn't have that, but it's fine. Yes, it had a bathroom. It had restroom.
Yeah.
They had the rooms. It was okay. It was alright. You know, they had different Corper's Lodge. They had a place where they had fellowship. They had a nice
NCCF. Were you part of that?
So the NCCF experience in my camp probably wasn't the best, and I think unfortunately that kind of shaded my view of NCCF in general.
Really? What was the experience like?
I just this is like a totally different conversation, but when I entered into there, I felt like it was more of a routine thing, something like they had to do. There was no relationship, there was no genuine. So I just didn't. And then the way I think, and then I don't know, just
the structure, it didn't really sit well with you.
Yes, that was the bottom line. It didn't sit well with me, and unfortunately, that just blocked me off from it. So anyway, I was just going to say, Merry Christmas.
Really? I think ours in my camp was actually really, really nice. In Oyo State camp. So like, and also because our camp coordinator, I think, that's what she was. She's very like religious, so like she was big on us having fellowships. She used to invite, like we had for one of the Sundays, the owner of Ambassador School in Otta came to preach to us, shared his journey. So she was very intentional about, you know, us and our relationship. But I remember we had our carol. It was really, really beautiful. You know, we sang, we worshipped God. We had like this mini concert. So it's actually a really, really nice experience. Although like at some point I didn't go because I slept off. But yeah, it was generally an experience. So for your reports, like after you got the text and you packed your bags, like how did you get to Ibadan?
I'm trying to remember. So I kind of just add that I was already dedicated to stay. I'd already bought like curtains. I bought bed sheets and stuff. Yes, because I was there for a few days. So I had gone into.
Let me just make you comfortable.
Yeah. I got in a carton of Indomie. I got some milk. So I was ready. To stay.
Oh, wow.
So when I got the text message, obviously everyone was disappointed I was going. I'm like, yeah, you guys are leaving soon. So So if they were going to stay, I would stay. So but yeah, it was the village was about 2 hours or 3 hours from the town.
Oh.
Yes, it was quite a distance. So I think they led me to Sokoto, and then I got into another bus that was headed for Ibadan.
Like, how long was the journey this time?
Oh, I can't remember, but it would probably be like maybe 19, 17 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
On the road.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
So where were you posted to in Ibadan?
That one is seeing all the drama. So when I found out that I was going to be in Ibadan, I had a very good friend that was in Ibadan, and luckily for her, she had her aunt's house.
Oh.
So it was a no-brainer that I'll stay with her.
Yeah.
There were another 2 or 3 friends from our uni, so we're all going to be there and have the time of our lives. So she was already talking to her auntie to help me get a posting in like a school in Bodija, because that's where the house was. Yeah, Bodija.
You know, I'm from Ibadan, so like this is just...
So like proper old Bodija, that's where the house was. So that was the plan. Tell me why, when I got there, they have posted me to another village. Village was chasing me.
Are you serious?
I'm not even kidding you, no cap.
They posted you to a village?
Another village. I was
destined
to go to village, yes.
So I was destined to go to village?
So when I got
what
there...
What village was that?
So it's called Ijaye. Yes, Ijaye. It's after Monia.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Wow.
So,
you really went to the village, oh. Because I haven't even been to my village because it's village. So wow.
I said I was just destined. So that's why when people are talking about NYC, I said, see, I don't care what you guys are talking. All this office thing people are doing. I said, I'm the one that served my country under the sun and in the rain.
Under the sun and the rain.
So when I found out that I was in another thing, I was beside myself. I was crying. I was unconsolable. I called my mom. My mom spoke to our, what do they call those people?
The local government inspector, the
LGIs. Who was a lovely woman, a very beautiful woman, and she was just begging she was just begging my mom that, please, this school needs people. Yeah, I need to send her there, but I will take care of her. She will be fine. The teacher is a nice man. The principal is a nice man. He's really kind, but I need to send her there, but I will take care of her. So with that, she took a special liking to me. I was crying. So in the end, I had to go to the village. Yeah, so that's when I resumed.
So you were posted to another school. What school was this?
This was called Grace Foundation Schools.
Oh, so it was like a private school.
It was technically a private school, but you know,
best in the village.
Best in the village, yeah.
Oh, so how was teaching there? Like, what did you end up teaching?
Okay, so I did biology. I did, I think, English. I did biology, I did English. Yeah, biology and English.
So what was your experience as a teacher like? Did you enjoy it?
So here's the guy.
Sorry.
So I know I mentioned that I'm Yoruba.
Yeah.
But I do not speak or understand.
Oh, so language was a barrier.
It was a barrier. So I'll be talking but to be honest, my students really love me. I love them as well, but they really love choke. So they really love me. To be honest, like I mentioned also that it had been a while. Yeah. So just refreshing myself up on some biology. English is really a no-brainer. Biology, making sure I'm actually teaching them the right things and stuff like that. But the students were really eager to learn. There was an improvement in their grades, teaching them. They had fun in my class, which was sometimes really big on. So I'm like, even if you don't want to pay. So how I did was, obviously when you have a substitute teacher or a new teacher, there's a way students behave. But finding that, mid-ground or mid-level, soften them. So I was like a very chill teacher. I was like the jazzy teacher, that kind of thing. You used to vibe with them a lot. Was it secondary school? Yes, it was. Okay. So it was actually, the school structure was from crèche to secondary, but I was teaching the secondary classes. Yeah, I taught SS1 to SS3 English. So you could relate with like the youth. I was about their boyfriends, their crushes. Literally, Then the thing I did that really helped with English class was like every Friday, I think, I would now tell them like fairy tales and stories. So so for the class, I'll just sit them down. And once it's time where everybody does behave, even the guys that sit down with themselves. I think that's actually really beautiful. And you could actually say that NYC achieved one of their goals. Yeah, I guess so. To foster national unity, and But there's this remarkable thing that happened that I tell everybody, which is really funny. So one of the assignments I gave them was what will happen, an essay to write, what will happen if you become president for the day. these people say that they're gonna collect money for themselves and their family. I'm telling you, if 30 people wrote those essays, only 1 or 2 talked about like changing the country and helping the country. The rest of them, as my presidents have done in the past, I'm going to.
Are you serious?
Yes, and I found that so disturbing.
Yeah, because like that's the future generation. So
my future is not
moving. I'm really
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah,
That was really interesting. I really like you were like wow.
No, I had a laugh, honestly. I said it everywhere, but even though I was laughing, it was also very disturbing because it's basically what they believe sincerely.
Yeah.
And after that, I really spoke with them. I was like, but they're like, and if you actually think about it, they haven't really seen much of the outside world and developed world. Many of them haven't been to Lagos, and basically that's all they know, and that's all they've heard. So really,
imagine that having that mentality already.
So it's just like, to be honest, if I need my family to be fine, and you're not taking care of me and my family, I'm going to take care of mine first. Yeah. Some of them didn't even talk about, okay, I'll take care of myself and then take care of the country. But most of them were just like, I'm taking care of me, and I guess it's just
their mentality, like how they're wired.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So was there any points that you enjoyed teaching so much that you considered staying back?
Never. So no, it's not. I did enjoy the teaching. There was even a time we did the whole inter-house sports. So we hadn't done inter-house sports, so we actually helped plan inter-house sports. I loved all those moments, but I never considered staying back because I never felt at home there.
Really?
Yeah, so here's the thing. So you remember I said that my friends were in Bodija town.
Yeah. So
what I would do is I would be in the village from Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
Friday, 4 p.m. I'll be 3 o'clock. What class has taught?
Yeah,
I've already packed my bag to class.
Yeah.
I'm going straight to.
So I was going to ask how you balance like having a social life and every other thing, because
I'm antisocial.
Say it louder.
I'm antisocial.
You're antisocial.
Yeah.
So like the entire year is spent the days.
No. So to be honest, I did. So because my friends are now on the opposite social spectrum, so they would go out. So obviously, I'll tag along with them sometimes. And I had really, really amazing friends. Shout out to Tommy. Shout out to Ore. Shout out to Tope.
Do you guys still talk?
Yes.
You guys
once.
But
Ore is in Australia now.
So like, what were the activities, like fun things you did?
So for me, it was just getting to hang with them. So watching movies. They really explored the city. They went to clubs. They went out. We went once or twice, but I heard boom boom. I said it's not for me. Yeah. So, but it was basically just like movies for me that I enjoyed. Movies. Then there were a few places and gardens and parks you just go and chill there. So those were the ones I found mostly interesting. And really, what was really the best for me was just being in the house with all of them. Just sit down
just
and vibe.
After teaching from Monday to Friday. Did you ever want to like explore Ibadan, or like you used to backtrack when you were in Sokoto? Did you ever want to like explore?
Yeah, so obviously it was one of the plans that when I get settled in, I would just like take a mini road trip and just look around, because obviously it's a historical city. Yeah. So it crossed my mind, but I never got to do it. I'm not sad though.
But for Ibadan, did you think about that?
I did think about it. Didn't really have the time, but I know there was a time they took us to, is it Mapo Hall or one place? I can't remember what it's called, but it has like a lot of statues and pillars and stuff.
That's
really nice. Yeah. So
that's really, really interesting. So your general experience like with the PPA was, how do you describe it?
So, like the LG I did say, he was a very kind man. He was very nice.
That's the principal of the
principal of Grace Foundation. Really amazing man. Teaching was nice. There were also very lovely teachers as well. There was this elderly woman, so sweet, so kind. And then the good thing that happened was that we made friends. So there was another school, a government school, just a stone throw away. And the core members that were serving there, we now became friends with them.
Oh, okay.
So in our Corper's lodge provided by this man, there was no electricity. So what would happen is I would have my phone on 100% when I'm leaving Monday morning for work, early on Monday. And then I would now portion my phone battery 20% every day till Friday.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. So when I use it, it's at 100%. Once it gets to 80%, I close it off on Monday. On Tuesday, 80% to 60, and so on and so forth. Because there was no electricity at the time, and we didn't know anybody. Yeah. There was a bathroom, but there wasn't a toilet, so I was forced to.
Yeah.
That's
Let's just.
So I had no choice.
Yeah.
But so we just one day walking around because someone eventually joined me. So I was there alone for a little bit.
Okay.
Then someone eventually joined me. Never called me by Simon. Shout out to Simon.
Hi Simon.
Then we met these people and they were delightful. And then one day they just told us, "Oh, come to this place." So there's this very beautiful woman who her family wasn't living with her, so she built a corper's lodge in her house. So she just wanted people around her. So we would go to her house, and she loved watching Zero. So for that 1 year, every show on Zero, we would watch it together. And they had electricity, so I could then, and they had a proper bathroom, so I could use the bathroom. So
and it was close to.
It was not far at all.
Really?
Yeah. So that was really the nice bit.
So
I had two friends. I had friends in the village part, and then I had friends.
Oh wow! Did you? With that experience, that just shows how like beautiful community is, like fostering national unity and everything. That's actually really nice. So how was feeding for you? Did you cook a lot or you're responsible?
No. So in the village, no, I didn't cook. I think I cooked just once or twice, maybe stew or something. I wasn't keen on cooking. Yeah. Because again, I never felt settled. So it's not something I wanted to do. So one time I did go because they had a market, so they had market days, and I did go to the market. I remember being so amazed by getting a huge bucket, like not a huge bucket, but this knee high, and it was like 200 naira full of tomatoes. 200
in 2016,
2017 at the time, full of tomatoes. I was just like,
for 200 naira.
200 naira
From my home state. Wow.
They had like lovely stuff in the market. It was a messy market because they sell things on the ground, so if it's rained, it's all messy. So I think that's partly why I didn't want to cook. So I just had my stuff like my Milo, I have this, I have that. Then when we met those people, they used to cook, so we would now chip in money.
Yeah,
and they would cook and then generate. Then when I went into the town as well, I cooked once in a blue moon. I was mostly like the person doing the dishes because you know they already had their own system, so I only used to fit into it a weekend. So that was what my feeling was like. Well, you know, Domino's here, ice cream there. So let us.
He even had Domino's.
Amalaska, shout out to Amalaska.
Amalaska, in Ibadan. That's actually really lovely, to be very honest. So generally, like when you were, wrapping up camp and like towards before I get to that, let's talk about CDS Lagos, because we hear about CDS in Lagos and clearance. Was it tasking for you as well?
No. LJ, like I said, I'm sorry I can't remember her name. She's a beautiful woman, lovely woman. So it was very seamless and organized actually. So every CDS
Lagos,
every CDS day we would go into a hall. Someone would read the news. Yes, we would read the minutes of the previous thing. So I eventually became this general secretary. So we read the minutes of the previous meeting. Someone will read the news headlines. We will talk about the news headlines and talk about it, debate it. People should ask for people's opinions. Then if there's any showcasing, they will showcase. Do. Then eventually we will now finish. And then if it's a class, they obviously won't do all that. But very organized. You have your queue, you have your tally. I think we had a tally or a tag. Just do it. If it's clear, if you have any problems, she's there for you. And woman doesn't like stress. It was beautiful.
So just everything easy.
Everything was just easy and lovely.
Did you guys end up doing a community project? Because a couple of like two actually, I don't know if the episode will be out before yours or after, but they did like projects. One of them would be like he built a road in his community. Yeah, and he also started working on like a cleaning type of project for the community. So like, did you guys ever?
Yes, I think what we did was more like a children's drive or something like that. I can't really recall now, but I know there was something about the children. Either we taught in the schools or we went out with them to do something. I really can't remember. See, the important things I don't remember. But yeah, it was something around those things. But I do remember in Ibadan town, I saw someone had done a statue.
A copper?
Yes, a statue of a copper.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think it was one person, I think it was a contribution. But what I wanted to do at the time was, if I was posted to that local government in Ibadan town, I wanted to paint it because the paint had chipped off. So that would have been my contribution. But they lost me.
That's actually really interesting. So you genuinely like enjoyed your stay? Will you say that? Although you said you weren't.
I did. To be honest, I did enjoy my stay because I had my friends there.
Yeah.
Even friends from Lagos would come into Ibadan.
Oh yeah.
We attended someone's wedding, my friend's uncle's wedding all together. We had Ashwebi, so we had a lovely moment. So yes, I did enjoy my stay in Ibadan. It was actually very nice. I made a lot of friends. I met a lot of people. Yeah, it was interesting.
But you kept saying that like you weren't settled in this. Why were you like?
No, because I just knew it wasn't my home. So I guess obviously now serving in Lagos, you know where your house is. Everything is just
okay.
So just knowing that even though you're here, I just knew that it's temporary.
So you can't completely settle.
Yeah. So 100%. And I was always like a nomad, so I'm always moving with a bag to the village, coming back. So it was just.
It was also traveling. Well, that's actually fair enough. So generally, right, in terms of after camp, were you thinking about that? Like, what are you going to do after? Am I going to stay? Am I going to go back to Lagos? Like, what was your thought process like?
Yeah, so it never crossed my mind to stay in Ibadan.
Yeah, you said so.
So I was going to come back to Lagos. I already had an idea of what I was going to do for a time when I came to Lagos. So it was pretty clear.
Yeah.
I didn't give much thought to that. I knew I was going to. Funny enough, I still entered inside teaching when I came back.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So my mom has a preschool.
Okay.
Yeah. So once I was there, I knew that I would come and help her run stuff in the preschool. So that was what was waiting for me. So that kind of sort of helped.
So how did you now later build into this career you have now? Because you mentioned your different career experiences.
So worked in the school for like 2 years, and then when we had our friend COVID, scattered a lot of things. So it was a preschool. So because of that, a lot of children obviously weren't going to school because of the scare. So it was at that point, it was like, okay, what are you going to do? So like, this is a very good time to pivot into something else. So I now chose a firm. Unfortunately, it was in Ikeja, and I live on the island, so it was quite a trip. It was quite a distance. But this firm was able to kind of like give me. So the school was a bit relaxed, so to speak, because it's family owned and everything. So it gave me a bit of structure. This firm, I learned a lot about confidence training and so on. So one of the things I picked up there was project management. And I was able to actually use it practically. And in doing that, then I was able to fully transition and be project manager. I entered as a project administrator, became project manager, then eventually I became head of projects before I left.
Oh wow, that's interesting. But the process of like from the island to Ikeja, how was that like for you?
It was bad. So I live where they call what do they call our sites? There's a slang they
outskirts of Lagos.
Outskirts. So I live in the outskirts. No man's land. So obviously,
but it's not that bad.
It's not bad. It's actually chilling.
Very soft.
Yeah. So we have to like wake up at like 4 a.m.
Wow.
3:30, 4 a.m. Leave the house no later than 5. So, because I hate traffic with a passion, so I prefer to wake up on time and get wherever I'm going super early, and then when I'm there,
kind of rest
and everything. So that's what I did. But the coming back was the real terrible thing because it's like 3 or 4 hours on the road traffic. So in a day, I was spending. I remember I analyzed it. I was telling a friend that literally I was spending X amount of years on the road of my life. So, but 6 hours given every day at that time, and I did it for almost 2 years.
Wow,
6 hours.
Did it make you like age very fast?
Yes, it made me age. There were pains, aches and pains in my body that I could feel. I was constantly looking emaciated because even though I would eat, and I wasn't even eating much because of stress, but even though I would eat, I would always be losing weight.
Yeah, because of the stress. Wow. But would you have like rather been in Ibadan without traffic?
So actually, to be honest, now that you mention it, I would have had a problem being in Ibadan town. I think I was talking about
the
village. Yeah. In Ibadan town, no, because Ibadan is very easy. You have things there, yeah. It's like Lagos, but you know how Lagos is on steroids. So Ibadan is very chill, yeah. So actually,
Lagos moves fast.
Yes, actually, I would have minded being in Ibadan town, like Old Bodija. The Old Bodija were very quiet estates, very sweet. I had a church. I think there was House on the Rock there. Yeah, there was House on the Rock church, and it was like literally a walk from the house. Everything was there, so I wouldn't have actually minded. Sorry, love you, but
you won't have, because sometimes I used to like think about it, and like when I hear people's opinions about NYC, and they're talking about how rent in that place is way cheaper, rent in Oyo State is way cheaper compared to Lagos. And I'm like, well, you can't really compare because of like the fact industries we have, the companies we have, the opportunities.
Exactly.
So things come at like a higher price.
Yeah.
But not saying that in all these other places there aren't opportunities, but like realistically.
Yeah, because like when we were in Ibadan, there was this place which was really amazing. IITA.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Wanted to be posted there. They gave them like housing allowance for when they first came, like towards finding places to stay. They had lunch. And it was a proper, place.
Yeah.
So
it's like a resort, I think.
Yeah, they had like a research institute, if I remember correctly. So they had places like that. So if you were lucky to get posted to places like that.
Yeah.
But I see people that were in local government, those people not safe. Told me, I'm talking to you. I'm going to send you the link to this video. Told me it did not work. I did the work on it behalf because they were chilling. I remember sometimes maybe we were on holiday or something, so I would be in the Ibadan house for a time. I would see my friends. They are supposed to be at local government. They are living by 12. I can't relate.
Oh my goodness.
So they were really chilling. So I think people enjoyed Ibadan. It's a really lovely setting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
To wrap up, right, the conversation, in terms of like PPA focused again, right? There's this stage like after NYSC where people are like talking and asking, so what's next? So I've had that question a lot. I've heard it a lot of times, rather, and it's not like I'm not thinking about what's next, but like you asking me, it's like making me feel like is my what's next really enough?
Yeah.
So like, did you ever have to deal with that, and how were you able to maneuver that?
So like I said, because I already knew what was next, it wasn't really
true.
Yeah, so it wasn't really too much of a bother for me. I knew what I was doing. So at the time, I was supposed to be going back to school for masters or whatever. So it was kind of clear cut for me. But what I would advise is, obviously, there will be a lot of stress on what's next when you're serving. But if you know what you want to do, if you know what your plans are, I think it will give you a certain confidence when you get those questions.
Yeah.
Right? So even if people are like dogging you, like, what are you doing? Where are you going to go? You're like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I know where I'm going to go. If you feel like sharing it with the person, fine. If you don't, you'll be like, don't worry, you'll know when
you see the doings.
Yeah,
when you see the doings.
You see the doings.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually interesting. And lastly, in terms of salary, so when you were serving, how were you? Like,
I think Alawi was 19.8.
At that, that's true. At that time. Is that all you survived on?
My principal gave me 5K
per week. I know. I say this per week thing, and people are always coming for me. I know. In 2017.
For the month, love you, sir.
But they gave you accommodation, yeah.
Yeah, they gave us accommodation.
Did they feed you though? No. So like, how was that 5K for you?
So then again, remember I said a bucket of tomatoes for
200. Fair, actually.
So, and I had beautiful, amazing, roommates. Chioma! I didn't forget you.
Shout out to you, Chioma.
Yeah, so Chioma was literally my roommate for the longest. She liked to cook. I didn't feel nice.
It's such a blessing to have people around you that like to cook.
Do you understand?
I was like, I have to try any recipe.
I am here
take
to cut and dice. No, so I don't have a problem cooking.
Yeah, I don't have a problem cooking.
You don't have problem with cooking.
But I just
do not cook.
I mean, like,
too many cooks spoil the soup. So do what you do, boo.
Oh my god.
But so Chioma loved to cook. So she'd make stews and stuff like that. So I had her, and whatever she did, she was no-brainer between for both of us. I would chip in. If I had to cook, I would cook. And even once or twice when I had to buy food in the village, the food was inexpensive.
Yeah.
So it was okay, and low cost of living then. It's just maybe if you
it's like coming from Lagos.
Exactly.
And going to Ibadan.
Yeah.
So
and this was still like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Where 1,000 naira still meant something.
Or like now when you go to the markets and everything is floating. So what would you say about like NYSC generally? Would you really say that it's something that we should keep doing, the government should keep doing, and all of that, or what contribution do you have about it generally?
No, I think It was go on, right? It was go on.
Yeah, Yakubu go on.
So yeah, I think it was a brilliant initiative, honestly, especially when you get the history, after the Civil War.
Yeah. And
it was a necessity, and it has helped. People are very tribalistic now. Imagine if they weren't NYSC. Yeah. I know a lot of people that got married based on NYSC relationships and so forth. So
wait, let me cut in there.
No.
Nobody.
No.
You had no crush.
No.
You had no situationship.
No.
Nobody moved to you.
You're making it awkward for me. there were movings. There were people moving up and down. God bless their movements.
Oh my dear. Anyway, let's continue.
Yeah. So knowing the history of the necessity for NYSC about fostering national unity, you understand why it has to exist. I think it's a brilliant initiative. I think obviously, and actually for the fact that it's been on for so long.
Yeah, it turned 50 this year.
Yeah, it turned 50 and still somewhat organized actually. I think I was somewhat, to be honest, to think about it,
somewhat in capital letters.
No, but think about it, it's a Nigerian initiative. It has existed for 50 years. It hasn't experienced much of changes. Uniform wise, everything is the same. Actually. The system is actually the same. You have a system that works. There are little cracks in the system. There's still LGIs here and there that will frustrate their own life and destiny. But if you look at it as a total, as a whole, it's actually something that works.
And I feel like for NYSC, right, most of its improving has is majorly influenced by the country improving itself.
True.
So the challenges like insecurity is because of the country, not NYSC itself.
Exactly.
So like, it's just, if we could just like, by God's grace, the country gets better.
Yeah.
NYSC gets better as well. I was hearing rumors that they want to increase. Next time I was hearing rumors they want to reduce. Increase in Jesus' name.
No, I don't think, amen. I don't think they would reduce. And speaking to insecurity, like, so we were in Sokoto and I think in every camp there's army.
There's soldiers.
So there's soldiers there. So and the soldiers were really nice. Even though some of them were looking for a girlfriend, but that's another story for another day.
Bro,
yeah.
Wait, we actually talk about that because it's like they're all looking for wife.
Yes,
it's really interesting.
Yes.
I used to have like
yours is wife. I'm talking girlfriend. It's worse.
Do you know, like when we used to have conversations with them, right? Because it was at the last few days I realized that camp was like a stage play. So everybody just comes for just 3 weeks.
Yes.
And then they go back. Because the cleaners and people helping us with our bags, watching our bags, and they were like, please hurry up, I'm going so I can go back to my family. And it just clicked in my head that these people actually left.
They are here for us.
They're just here for us. Even the food,
they're
packing up already. The soldiers are going back to their families.
Even the hospitals, everything. So it's really a lot to do this. In I don't know how many states of the federation, but
in all 36 states, to be honest.
So it's not a mean
feat.
No, but for real, we'll give you your flowers where you deserve them. When you need work, do yours.
Yeah.
Stop posting people where you do not consign them.
Actually, especially in this day and age. So I think it just constantly. Would you say it constantly needs like a review? Because now I can tell that you don't want it to be scrapped. So you say that it needs like a reformation, a review, or something like that.
So yeah. Like every project, like every undertaking, there's a part in the project where you have to.
As a project manager.
Oh dear Lord. No, but there's always a part in the project where you actually have to go back to the drawing board and review and say, okay, is it still effective? Is it working? There might come a time in this nation's history where it is not necessary anymore. And that's perfectly fine. The States doesn't need NYSC. That's another topic for another day. But but some developed countries that don't experience what we do don't need NYSC, and that's perfectly fine for them. It works for them. So yes, it does need to review. There are certain things that could be better. But on a whole, it's a wonderful initiative. Generally. So
I think that's really beautiful. Any last words you'd like to share as we wrap up?
So what I'm gonna say is that if you're serving wherever you're serving, enjoy it. So have that ability to put yourself out of the picture and just look at it holistically, because as a season that's never going to come again. So enjoy the day, seize the day, carpe diem, squeeze all the moments when you're hanging out with your friends, when you're teaching. Stand back and observe it from like a third person point of view, because these memories will go with you forever, and there's no memory that you get, or there's no knowledge that you get that will ever be wasted. it will come back to you at times you
Yeah,
need it and so
definitely.
on. So just enjoy it and just know that you're taking one step, putting one foot in front of the other, and the road unravels, and the road will always rise to meet you.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for being a guest.
Thank you for
Thank you so much for taking out your time and, you know, all that beautiful stuff. Please tell them to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Alright, so you see it.
The Corper Files.
Do click YouTube app on your phone.
Yes.
You type in the Corper Files.
Thank you.
Please, anything like, anything subscribe, anything comment, anything share, broadcast it, tell people about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed listening and you learned a lot, as all our episodes always give you good information. We'd also like to know if you're enjoying the conversations, you know, on YouTube. You know, on Instagram we have a whole community. If you're not on our Instagram, that's the Corper Files. So you should definitely hop on that. But our YouTube channel, let us know in the comment section. Is there anything you'd like us to try? Is there any conversation specifically you want us to have? You know, let's actually know how it goes, alright? So make sure you subscribe, share with your friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye.